Well met, and welcome back to Passivecore, the Ultra Hardcore Pacifist challenge where our dwarven rogue adventurer Shaghass is forbidden from crafting war in a world of Warcraft. This is a journey where Shaghass can only gain experience through exploration and carefully selected quests. We're playing classic World of Warcraft, meaning absolutely no XP from gathering professions, and on top of that, we're using the Ultra Hardcore add-on for that extra layer of danger and immersion. If you're enjoying the series, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, and feel free to drop a comment below. I'm also live streaming the entire run over at DZTV on Twitch and right here on YouTube. No gameplay of this challenge is ever conducted off-stream. In the last episode, we finally solved our money problems, and despite changing our plans more than once, we managed to hit level 13. This time we kick off things back in Loch Modan in search of supplies for our tiny abomination friend, Binge. But knowing just how dangerous the Loch can be, I decided to treat this more like a scouting mission, just to see whether this quest was even remotely realistic. And yeah. It doesn't look great. With trogs running rampant across the islands, this is clearly something I'll need to come back to later. I ran into a similar situation with the tunnel rat kobolds in the silver mines, and once again decided it was best not to push my luck. So instead, I took a flight path all the way back to old faithful Auberdine. This place has quickly become one of my favorites for this challenge. Who would have thought that the hippies of Darkshire would be great at handing out pacifist quests? Yeah, me. I thought that. I head over to pick up the quest from Tree Tender, the same one I was worried about a couple of episodes ago, and I can now confidently say that this one is actually very easy. On the top floor of the same building, I also know another quest that I can pick up given by Sentinel Alyssa Starbreeze, and grab that as well. I head out to find a rabid thistle bear and I place the trap down, and somehow without the bear even walking near it, it becomes friendly to me. I don't know why, but look, I'll take it. I escort it back to Tree Tender and... Oh. Look, I don't know what he did to that bear, but that did not feel very pacifist. I guess, regardless, I got 975 XP. Yay. I head up north and speak with Balthule Shadowstrike, earning another 675 XP. And before leaving Auberdine, I wanted to give Washed Ashore one last attempt. Here's where you'll notice something different. There's a timer on screen. Let me explain why. Recently, one of you great YouTube viewers, S-Roper90, left a really great comment, and I quote, "Waiting by quest objectives in the hopes another player kills the mobs might be slightly against the philosophy of the challenge. Maybe make that cost a help token so you don't rely on it too much. Killing by proxy and all that." And yeah, honestly, I agree. I don't want this challenge to feel like I'm gaming the system, and up until now, I haven't really used my help tokens at all. So here's another rule I've landed on. Waiting for players does not immediately charge me a help token. If I wait longer than 5 minutes, continuing to wait does require using one. If I decide to leave and come back later to avoid the charge, I can't then wait another 5 minutes for free. I either do the quest myself or spend a token. This way I think it keeps it fair, intentional, and avoids reliance on accidental help. And as luck would have it, the 5-minute timer hit, and just as I was about to try sapping a Murloc and risking it myself, someone finally showed up doing the quest. Impeccable timing, no help token spent. I interact with the Colossal Corpse and hand in the quest to Gwyneth for 675 XP, and then take a follow-up quest to recover sea turtle remains, which I happily complete for another 975 XP, plus an upgraded dryweed belt with extra armor and intellect. At this point, Loch Modan, it still felt too risky, and Auberdine was officially tapped out for now. So I tried my hand and flew back to Redridge to see if anything had opened up. And, yeah, no, this is bad. This is very bad. Everything was still showing up as silver, meaning I'm at least a level or two too low. Feeling a bit stuck, I wandered toward the flight path, and noticed a high-level druid just standing around. Since I haven't used a help token in a few episodes, and I do need to reach Darkshire, I asked if they'd be willing to escort me through Duskwood, and they agreed. So I spend a help token, bringing my total down to 11 remaining, and safely arrive at the Darkshire Inn. While I'm there, I pick up a bottle of moonshine for the quest Dry Times for just 2 silver 65 copper, and then I grab the flight path and take stock. You see, I already had the cask of Merlot from Stormwind, but last time I was in Goldshire, I forgot to pick up the skin of Sweet Rum, thanks to a certain someone's hat consultation. And you know what, I also still needed the hops for the Thunderbrew keg. So, back to Stormwind we go. As I land at the flight path entrance, a bully of a man was loudly calling someone else bold, something I personally take offense to. So I made my dwarven presence known. I grabbed the hops from the auction house and noticed that the city was absolutely packed, and realized a world buff must be about to drop. So I start asking around for a summon to Booty Bay, because realistically, if there's anywhere in Azeroth with level-appropriate pacifist quests, it's probably in the Barrens, which I can get to by taking a boat from Booty Bay. So I ask, and ask, and ask, and nothing. But then, after giving up, and literally taking one step outside the Stormwind gate, a savior appears. Buttnag. What a name. Buttnag offers me a summon, not to Booty Bay, but straight to Ratchet. And that's another help token well spent. So while Buttnag prepares the summon, I quickly grab the skin of Sweet Rum in Goldshire and head over to hand in the hops at Westfall, where I also get 135 XP for discovering the Dusk Plains and 125 XP for the Dagger Hills, and then secure a Thunderbrew keg. I wait around at Sentinel Hill until I'm officially summoned to Ratchet, and immediately leave the party out of paranoia that he might accidentally kill something, ending my run. I thank Buttnag profusely, who is, of course, yet another abomination. Yet what is with all these tiny mutated dwarves all of a sudden? And then I make my way to the flight path. Now Ratchet, speaking of abominations, is crawling with those same green half-elf, half-dwarf creatures we ran into last episode. Still gross, by the way. And I pick up 2 quests from them. Samoflangi, I think that's how you say it, which is a quest that I'll put on hold for now, and also a herbalism quest to pick up 8 root samples, which also rewards a fantastic 70 armor tunic with 1 stamina and 3 spirit. But outside of that, there's nothing else really here but exploration XP, which I'd like to avoid using if I can, since exploration XP seems to scale with your level. I take the boat back over to the Eastern Kingdoms to Booty Bay and connect up the flight path, giving me fast access between the 2 continents. But with less than half an XP bar filled, and a lot of travel already behind me, I decide to call it there for the day and get some rest at the Ratchet Inn. I logged back in the next day with a plan. With Dry Times already complete and ready for hand-in, my first goal was to gather 8 root samples. But this took way longer than I expected. Every plant seemed to be guarded by raptors, and more than once I had to back off and reset, not to mention how long it took to find these plants in the first place. But eventually, I managed to collect all 8 and began heading towards Durotar. On the way, I noticed a horde outpost, so I veered off the road and tried to swim across a crocolisk-infested river instead. I wasn't actually paying attention and ran straight into a raptor here, and got knocked down to about 50% health. But after that scare, the crossing itself went surprisingly smoothly. You see, in Durotar, there's actually a quest that both Alliance and Horde players can complete, offered by one of those familiar green half-elf things. The scary part, though, is that it's right next to the gates of Orgrimmar. And so, for the first time in his life, Shaghass gazes upon the Orcish capital. Savage, intimidating, but kind of wondrous. I pick up the quest Winds in the Desert from Rezlak and go collect him 5 supply sacks, an easy task that grants me 775 XP. Unfortunately, his follow-up quest is a kill quest, so we press onwards. Back in Ratchet, I hand in root samples, earning 1150 XP and a fantastic spore-covered tunic, 70 armor, +1 stamina, and +3 spirit. Looking snazzy, and more importantly, sturdier than ever. So I half back home, but before I can jump on a flight over to Redridge, I check my mail, and Bob had written to me 3 times. A true telemarketer strategy, I guess. Bob's offering another hat consultation, a knife, and some sort of rogue tool. So I responded appropriately. You guys can tell me in the comments below if I should seek out Bob again for any of his offered services. Over in Redridge, I reluctantly hand in the grog to barkeep Daniels, earning a finely woven cloak, 14 armor +2 spirit, plus 1050 XP. We're now only 5.5 bars away from level 14, but options are still limited. So I head back to Thelsamar for a serious attempt at the Silvermine quest. I set my timer. 5 minutes pass, but no one comes. That means 1 help token spent. And to add insult to injury here, 2 players just stroll on in 40 seconds later. Thanks, girls. I follow them into the cave, and they move painfully slowly. A human paladin and rogue, carefully clearing the cave inch by inch. But to their annoyance, I manage to snag all 4 required minor gears and sprint out of the cave. So back where this episode first started, I tried the Bingle's quest once more, but after 20 minutes of waiting and another help token spent, nothing. So I pivot and grab some exploration XP instead. I pick up 135 XP at the Mogrosh Stronghold, 105 XP at the Farstrider Lodge, and 105 at the excavation site. And that's when I realize there's actually a quest here. I pick up Prospector Ironband's report quest, and then swing back towards the islands for one last attempt at Bingle's. And this time, some luck. Kinda. A lass named Bonnie is clearing trogs nearby, and it seems she's doing the quest too. She clears just enough for me to grab the blaster and capper, but being the shy little lad that I am, I couldn't ask such a fine beardless lass for help. Plus, she's already picked up the rest of the items, and yeah, off she went. I hand in the minor gear at Algaz Station for 1,350 XP, and then deliver the report in Thelsamar for 270, and was then reminded that, yeah, this guy also has a quest for me. This is actually something I couldn't do in the last episode, and I can't believe I forgot about this. But this is a welcome surprise regardless, and I take both quests gladly. I head back to Ironforge, speak with Prospector Stormpike for 550 XP, and return to Yearn for another 270 XP. We're so close to leveling, I can taste it. Yearn asks me to speak with Huldar, a dwarf tasked to resupply the excavation site. So I make my way over and find Huldar and his band under attack by the Dark Iron Dwarves. Sadly, I can't intervene here. It is my due diligence towards pacifism, and I become a mere onlooker, just cheering them on. It turns out their comrade, Sean? Was a Dark Iron sympathizer all along, and organized this ambush. For witnessing the event, I earn 270 XP. Huldar asks me to help Mirren take the shipment up to the nearby excavation site, but I think twice about it and decide to leave this for another time. It would simply just be too dangerous to attempt for me right now. Though I do have a plan to get this one done. I make it to the excavation site and talk with Magmar Felhue for 340 XP. And there it is, level 14. What a long journey today was. I put another talent point into Master of Deception, maxing it out, and sit by the campfire to reflect. This one took a while, and it dawns on me. This might be the new normal for the rest of this challenge. So I want your input. From here on out, would you rather long episodes with guaranteed level ups, even if that means 2 weeks between uploads? Or still remain with the weekly episodes where progress may be slower but more frequent and possibly shorter episodes? Let me know in the comments below, and either way, thank you so much for watching and for sticking with Shaghass. I hope you enjoyed yet another episode. Thanks for watching, see you next time, goodbye for now.